Flippin' awesome. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here. That intro explains my mood today, Dan.
That's gorgeous. You're in a sensual, just a groovy vibe, baby.
A little bit on the edge, running around a lot today. Welcome to That Pedal Show. We're just going to do a straight ahead look at some new pedals.
Yeah.
They might not necessarily be new to the market, but they are definitely new to us. Some of them are new, some of them less. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Some housekeeping.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merch. Helps support the show. And also a massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon.
Indeed. Wouldn't it be great, Dan, if we had some lovely new enamel mugs in the store?
It would be amazing.
Just almost exactly like this one.
Almost. Does it come pre-sipped?
I have to say my beverage tastes extra tasty from it today. Thatpedalshowstore.com. That's how we fund this show. Please buy stuff.
There we go.
It's good news we know what one of the pedals is today.
Yeah, I wish I could read what it was called.
Yeah, I think somebody went to a branding masterclass there. Look at that.
It's called SurfyBear. What's it called? SurfyBear!
We may as well start by way of introduction there. So, Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum, who we see at various places where we go across the world at NAMM and to Toman and places like that. He's been banging on about this for years.
Right.
And as fans of the show may know, I've recently got an amp that doesn't have reverb in it, 2-2S TS1. And I've been searching through the various spring reverbs that are available.
It's all making sense now.
There you go. So anyway, I went on the SurfyBear website. They're based in Italy and saw this in their Blemish sale. So got it cheap. Subsequently found out you can buy them cheaper from GAC in the UK. Dope. Anyway, so that's a spring reverb, which we'll get to. What else we got then, Dan?
We have the Leo tweed style overdrive from our dear friend at Reeves Electro.
Yeah, Marcus has been developing this for some time. Lovely etching on the top panel, as you can see there. Very unique. It's a tweed. It's got 3 stages of headroom. It's got a boost built in.
And it sounds just flipping magic.
Really cool.
We'll get to that.
On the subject of boosts, this is a boost.
Oh, yes. So, crazy tube circuits. Crazy guys.
All the Chris's. Everyone at Crazy Tube Circuits is called Chris.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing has got 4 separate boost circuits in it, like the actual circuits. And you switch between the circuits. You can switch between 9 and 18 volts, and you can switch between the original EQ or a fat EQ.
No way.
Yeah, it's flippin' brilliant.
So it's like a boost Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, it's got from a treble booster, EP booster, MOSFET. It's really, really clever.
Wicked.
Yeah.
All right, and then 2 Catalinbread offerings.
Yes, the Many World, an 8-stage phaser with some envelope filter options, LFO tracking the envelope stuff.
Oh, nice.
It's really, really clever.
I think I'm going to have to hear that to understand it.
Yeah. But those lovely soupy 8 stages of phasing is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the Catalinbread Tribute. It is a parametric EQ overdrive.
Right. So you can select your
frequency,
key point of mid
and cut or boost it.
And is the parametric predominantly in the mid range?
Yes, it goes from let me get this right, from 1.4K to 70K, I want to say. Anyway, 7K, is it?
Maybe.
Yeah, not 70K. Yeah, sorry, 7K.
We might get a small EQ lesson as part of this. Right. Let's start with the SurfyBear then. So we are going to do another show which includes the SurfyBear, the Carl Martin headroom,
Yes,
the Crazy Tube Circuits,
the White Whale,
and some other ones that do have a real spring tank in them.
Throw in the Space Echo as well. The small.
Of course.
Yes, all that stuff.
So there will be an upcoming video which compares them all directly, but I just wanted to get a listen to it today. They do a number of different ones, do SurfyBear. This one, I think, is true bypass.
Yes.
Because the standard classic one isn't true bypass.
Okay.
It doesn't have a volume control on it.
Right.
And it's in a wooden box. This is in a metal box. It does have a volume control and it is true bypass.
Right.
It is somewhat laughably described as pedalboard friendly. Given that it is
you can
flat.
you can put all your pedals on it.
Yeah, actually,
It's a pedal board.
I never even thought about that. I bet that's what people do.
Maybe.
Do people do that? Let us know.
I think the only issue that I can see before we get into how it sounds, so you turn it on.
Stamp on your Overdrive. Oh, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's in
Actually,
there.
that's pretty good.
There you go. Awesome.
So we'll turn the reverb off in the 2-rock then.
Does sound great together though.
It does sound great together, but there you go. Amplifiers today, 2-rock classic reverb, signature and matchless HC30 on a 212 cab.
Yep. That's the dream team, and we had it set up for the experience day on Friday, and we walked in, we just saw them there together, and they'd been hanging out together all weekend. We thought it'd be rude to separate them at this stage.
Let's listen to them together, Daniel, with no effects. There you go. That's what I was looking for. What do we say? Drier than a nun's wine glass. SurfyBear then.
None of the nuns I know. Anyway.
Go on then. Obviously ridiculous levels of reverb. Wanting to do that because on a lot of really lovely spring reverbs you can get them to kind of oscillate.
Right.
And go into that
Enough
really super heavy effect
right.
territory. I don't know if it will overdrive. It might. Let's see. One of the things, so as I'm led to believe, the SurfyBear general design is based heavily on the Fender standalone reverb unit.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever model that is. But with the tubes replaced for FETs, basically.
Okay.
Kinda.
Sorta.
I feel I need to evoke a bit of boost down. Win.
Amazing.
Win.
It has everything. So what's amazing about that, because I love the small tank reverb thing, primarily because it's actually something that I can get on the board or get on an amp or something, and it's a real spring. But when I hear that, that's a proper like gorgeous amp reverb, and it's going right into the front of the amp.
It's really good, yeah.
It's amazing.
Cause the amps we've got here today are set with a fairly clean, headroomy sound. It's fine just running it in the front, and actually a lot of reverb fans of this particular style would say it's better going in the front of the amp. Of course, that's not where it exists in your classic Fender Deluxe Reverb, Pro Reverb, Super Reverb. It would be after the preamp. So when we do the full show on it, I think we will try it in the loop.
Okay.
We'll try it in different
Sure.
parts of the amp. But in terms of from 4 controls, every combination of, you know, crazy, super drippy, bright.
Yeah.
Let's say Dick Dale. It does say Surf on the front. We can say Dick Dale.
And Yogi Bear, for those Yogi Bear tones.
There you go. Imagine that. He was a fan of wildlife, was Dick Dale, wasn't he? There was pictures of him with lions and cheetahs and stuff.
I met him once.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, so when I was playing with Max Sharam, we were supporting Chris Isaac around touring around Australia. And
right.
Dick Dale turned up and played a couple of tunes with Chris, and I sort of met him. And he was amazing. All that stuff, he was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely there. Okay, we'll leave it. We'll use it for the remainder of the video, so you can hear. Presumably, it's last in line, is it?
Yes.
So you'll hear all the other pedals going through it at a less obvious reverb setting. First impressions.
It's spectacular. It really is spectacular. Win.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And it only cost 78 quid in VAT and import duties down.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Bluesman vein popping annoyance. Anyway, right.
Okay. I want to get into the Leo.
Okay.
Let's start there.
Those of you who are regular That Pedal Show viewers will know Marcus Reeves. He's been on the show a couple times now. He joined us for a VCQ once.
He did.
And Marcus's approach to circuit construction is
incredible.
Just point to point, hand wired, no circuit boards. It's a thing of unrivaled beauty.
Indeed.
So I believe the Leo, presumably a Leo Fender, right? Because it's a tweed.
But there's a spaceman on it.
Yeah, well, he may have been called Leo. I did ask Marcus if there was a famous spaceman called Leo. Don't know, just like the graphic. But the other thing, of course...
What do you do when you see a spaceman?
Parking it, man.
There you go.
But they were obsessed... The Strat's called the Strat, right? Because they were obsessed with the stratosphere.
Oh, yes, of course.
With space. So
yeah.
This is speculation. Anyway, it's very nice etching. So on the one hand, we'll start there. It's a tweed overdrive with level and gain and some interesting switches.
Okay.
Gagne, man of tone. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a reverb in the 2-rock, just in case that's doing any extra clipping or weirdness.
Okay.
So we don't know is the answer. But I am going to use the reverb in the 2-rock just to give Dan a bit of room. Not going to use that just in case it is changing this too much.
Okay.
We can try both.
Okay. All right.
I just don't want the comments to
understand.
go.
I understand, mate.
3-level headroom switch, 5 watt, 12 watt, and 40 watt.
Right.
Which, what we're saying, 5 watt champ world, 12 watt deluxe world, 40 watt twin world.
Sure.
Tweeds. Bright switch.
Okay.
And a high and low headroom, I'm guessing. So we go from this, which is its most shut down setting. The gain is low, the volume's on maximum, and I'll just open it out to the maximum kind of headroom and bigness.
Okay.
And with a little bit of gain, this is what you get. What I'll then do is get into more gain and do the same thing.
Okay.
Yep. 5 watts. Sorry. That's 5 watts, maximum volume and gain, low headroom.
Oh, okay. So was that all the 5 watts? Sorry, I got carried away.
No. I did flick them through.
Okay.
Contrast that with high headroom, 40 watts.
Okay.
I'll switch it while you play.
All right.
It might blow the mic pre's out, but we'll see. Cool. So you can go from very clean boosty all the way through to quite overdriven. And the combination seems to me of the high-low and the different wattage settings. The wattage settings are clipping diodes. He's done that with clipping diodes, basically. Yeah. Radically different feel under the fingers.
Oh, it's it really does have that lovely compression type thing.
Yeah.
But it, depending on how you set it, that feel is wildly different.
Yeah. I'll plug in some humbuckers in a sec. I'll turn the boost on. Let's just see what that does.
Okay. Flippin' heck.
Marcus did tell me that if you max everything out, you can get into a bit of oscillation.
Right.
So what will be interesting with the Les Paul is to see if it'll get
go
up on the front.
Yeah, right. Okay. So
That was 20 seconds of Neil Young impression.
regardless of all the amazing subtle tonal difference it has throughout, everyone's going to buy it for that sound. It's like, no, I want that sound that Nick had.
The reason, okay, so it's overboard, it's too much, it's quite a lot to hang on to, but I've got Neil Young in mind.
Yeah.
With his absolutely hammered
Tweed Deluxe.
Yeah. So let's come back a bit from there. Personally, I'm a fan of the higher headroom settings.
Yeah.
Because you just get a bit more under the fingers.
Yeah, and it also works really well when you're stacking things into it.
Yeah. But you do get those squashier sounds at the lower ranges. So let's have a listen. Let's set the pedal as all pedals should be set down. Sorry, slightly wavering tuning.
It's really beautiful.
It's so open sounding.
Yeah. So what I thought was really interesting is even when you were chugging on the lower strings and you'd hit an open string, it would pop.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. It still has enough clarity and everything in it to still, when you hit a smack a note like that, even over lower strings, that's super impressive.
Really interesting as well, because very usable range in the controls there. Quite a few overdrive pedals definitely have their sweet spot in the middle range of the controls there. But cooking, really nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, I guess we would sort of expect it from Marcus, but yeah, it would be interesting. At the moment, the boost is obviously pre-overdrive.
We can have it either.
Wouldn't it? In the Reeves.
Oh, the Reeves thing. Okay, right.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yes.
So wouldn't it be good if we had another boost on the board?
Indeed.
Hooray! To there.
To do. Okay, now, let me get my cheat sheet.
Okay.
Wherever that went. I think
I've got some pieces of paper here.
there you go.
This is research. You see. There you go.
So,
hello to all the Chris's and anyone not called Chris at Crazy Tube Circuits.
indeed.
Our other friends in Greece.
Okay, there are 4 separate circuits in here accessed via this knobby here.
Yeah.
Right? So the first one's called RM. No prizes for guessing what that is.
Range Master.
Indeed.
Hooray.
Indeed. Their own silicon interpretation of the 60s classic. And then up from that, you've got the EP booster, which is a JFET preamp. Up from that, you've got the MA, which is a clean, transparent volume booster of the late 70s, early 80s.
What's that? MXR microamp? MA?
Yes. And
Or Massachusetts?
indeed. And then you've got the MF, which is a MOSFET boost based on a late 90s, ultra-transparent, high impedance MOSFET.
I was so hoping it was a naughty American word, Dan.
Want you to dig in there and grab my wallet. I don't know which one's yours. It says bad MOSFET.
Bad MOSFET. There we go. And we've got, let's see, 9 and 18 volt headroom switches.
Yep, so you can change the voltage on it, and then you can change the EQ between the original EQ and their fat EQ section.
Highly groovy. Come on then.
It is highly groovy. Start on the EP booster, and then we'll finish on the Range Master because I want to hear that into the Leo.
Groovy. We've just gone from the EP to the MA.
How spanky that is!
I'm guessing microamp.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
What is interesting is the fat control is really significant. It feels like it takes everything from, I don't know, 300 down.
Right.
And gives it a massive boost.
I want to hear that going into the front of the
All right,
of the Leo.
I'll put it on back on the EP boost then.
Okay.
And we'll get it boosting, and then I'll switch in and out the fat control.
Okay.
In this environment, plenty of headroom in the amps. Leo, tons of headroom. Having the fat switch in is totally fine. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
If you're going into, let's say, I don't know, could be a tweed amp that's really hammering.
And caving in.
Yeah. Or if you're into something like a plexi and it's just got a ton of low end, that fat switch is going to be really good out.
Yeah.
Because it'll tighten everything up. It'll stop so much flub and overdrive in the bottom end. Having the option is really nice.
It's great, and the headroom thing with the voltage is so cool.
The inner tweaker in me is wondering if it's internally adjustable for either frequency or level.
I don't believe so.
I
could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I don't believe so. I think because you're switching between those 4 separate circuits. I think it's all set. Yeah. But I want to hear the Range Master then into the.
Yeah, actually, it does. Looks like it might not do anything in the MA or the MF.
Oh, okay.
All right, straight up to the Range Master then. time. Pretty convincing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
As we've said many times on that pedal show, the classic treble booster design, the Dallas Arbiter,
Yeah.
Rangemaster? Yeah, I was trying to think who was it. Dallas Arbiter?
The Rangemaster, yeah.
Was it? Yeah, okay. The Rangemaster made famous by Brian May, Rory Gallagher, etc., etc.
Blah, blah, blah.
They do sound very, very different depending on that input cap.
Yeah.
And also depending on the transistor used, and that level of sort of nasal honk, if you like, varies radically from design to design.
Yeah.
I think they've hit a really nice sweet spot there, particularly with that with this modifier here.
Because with it out, it actually sounds great on its Todd, which is rare for a treble booster circuit.
Yeah. Also, I think when you put it into something that's overdriving, you've heard it in combination with the Leo there, and just to be clear, it's heading into the Leo, so it's guitar, treble booster, Leo, amp.
Just play again, because I want to hear it after.
Hang on, I was just going to finish the point.
All right.
To say that with the mids and everything lessened,
yes,
it's more of that classic nasal mid honk.
Yeah.
And with it in, it sounds more full rangey overdrive, which is a totally obvious thing to say, but
sure.
For the more classic Rangemaster, you want it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, you wanted it. You want to hear it
after. So,
in the Rangemaster mode.
Yeah, leave it there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Have Fromage.
It's such an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Because what you've got is a really, really high headroom, open sounding overdrive and essentially a treble booster, but a many faceted full range booster.
Yeah.
There's not much you can't do with it.
No. It's really, really beautiful. I mean, I haven't played anything of theirs that I haven't thought was... that it always sounds good, and it's always really interesting.
Yeah. Yes. On the subject of which, one final thing to try. I just want to see if we can discern much difference in the 9-18.
Okay.
We'll do it on its own, and then we'll do it combined with something. But if you have Schwang a minute. This might get a bit brutal. Interesting. So we were in the MF. What was the MF one again? The last one?
A MOSFET.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we're in the MOSFET boost with the boost on maximum. And that was just superconductor you were hearing there. So it was overdriving a bit and it was pushing both of these amps into overdrive. Really beautiful noise. 18 volt to me sounded like it had more bottom end.
Bit more girth.
Yeah. Well, more headroom. So more was getting through. Killer.
Lovely.
Actually,
well done. Well done.
I think you could cover a significant amount of ground with those two, couldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Seriously thinking about it.
Yeah, smiley face.
Yeah,
smiley face.
very good.
Okay, we've got a rather mysterious looking lady with a glowing bindi and a Swedish death metal purveyor also with a glowing forehead.
Yeah. And they come together and worlds are created. So we have the Many Worlds, which is an 8-stage phaser with some really interesting LFO options. So if you play for me.
I've decided I want to change a guitar down.
Okay, change away.
I think the Leicester has decided it doesn't want to be in tune today.
Okay.
It's gone. I'm done with you. No more of you today. Let's go from
Oh,
the
nice.
sublime to the ridiculous.
Very nice.
I like the one that sounded like when you're plunging a sink. Like.
Okay, so the sawtooth or reverse sawtooth it might have been.
I think that would work.
That one. I think so.
Come on, you understand phases. What's happening? What? I don't.
Okay, so you've got your different wave shapes.
Loads of different elephants.
Right, so if we just quickly go through those.
You play.
Okay.
Dan will play something appropriate.
Well. Okay, so if we start off, let me turn the.
I'm in charge now,
Sorry,
cowboy.
sorry, mate. Taylor.
Whatever happens next,
Yes.
you can get a flipping great normal phaser noise out of it.
Yeah.
Sounds killer.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you've got your rate and depth, but then you've also got the feedback control. So you get the signal fed back to the input. So you get that lovely resonance type thing. So in that mode there, the waveform's dictated by how I pick.
Oh, nice.
And then you've got 2 LFOs. So you change the frequency of the second LFO here.
Yeah.
And so the frequency of the first one, frequency of the second one, and then make some feedback. So if you hear them, the 2 separate speeds.
I was trying to do something in the least bit musical.
Right.
By having the mix set really low, mixing it with some boost and some reverb, so it gives some interesting texture.
Sure.
Because when you hear a weird effect like that, it can be quite hard to imagine it being useful in any sort of context, I think. So maybe if you were using it wet dry.
Yeah.
Or if it was panning or something.
The strong thing for me of that is just the standard phaser sounds.
Yeah.
It's just, they sound wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost akin to like an old MP1.
Right.
Like
Who's
the
that,
old Maestro.
Yeah.
Just with that resonance. Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I thought when you were playing the funk stuff, it was very authentic.
Yeah, yeah. Great.
Yeah, do that job.
That's, I think a lot of guys really love those high fidelity phases for that funk thing, as opposed to, you know, a warmer phaser. But yeah, a lot of that's got to do with that resonance control, that being able to send the signal back into the input. Gorgeous.
Cool. 2 more pedals then. We are going to rush through these a little bit because there is a timing issue. This should be simple.
It is simple.
Because it's got drive and volume, tone. So at the moment, it's an overdrive pedal, and then a mid-frequency sweeper.
Yeah. So the tone is the cut or the boost for the frequency.
Yep. So being parametric, in the middle, it's neither cutting nor boosting. It's boosting to the right, cutting to the left, and we have a sweep between, as you said before, Daniel.
Indeed.
I know you were right. It's 1.4K and 70 hertz, so it's low.
Right.
It's really low.
Really? Yeah, yeah. Okay. I did see a 70 on there. I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You were right. In the middle is 440, what we would consider as mud. You'll be able to hear that now.
Okay. That's killer.
As we were saying about our EQ lessons, so at the moment this is 70 hertz. 70 hertz you can think of roughly as the resonance of a 412 cab.
Okay.
Thereabouts.
Okay.
It's 70 and 80. If you've got a equalizer in your door or wherever, whack some 70 80 hertz on there, it's going to sound like the chunk of a 412 cab. When we go into the middle, when we get to the 440, that's very mud territory.
Right.
So as we sweep up from 70 hertz up to 440, that goes through what we might think of as thump and cab resonance, through discernible bass into mud frequencies. Now, this is all in the boost position, remember?
Right.
And this is significant because in a live scenario, those are the frequencies you're going to be cutting.
Okay.
You're going to be wanting to cut in order to A, give your amp a bit of a rest so it can be clearer sounding, B, get out of the way of the kick drum and the bass.
Wow,
I will
okay.
rotate. Bear in mind, we're still in full boost mode. I will rotate from 70 hertz back through to our 440.
Okay.
And you should hear it go from what you would think of as chunk into muddy.
Okay.
Imagine, if you will, chunk bottom resonance packed into a small box as we go through 300, 400.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to come out of the box and we're going to stick a massive nose on it as we go up to 1.4.
Okay.
Yeah, ready?
Yep.
Treble booster territory almost.
Yeah.
And interesting given that it's only 1.4K, because that is very definitely a mid frequency.
Yeah.
So now we've gone from full boost. Let's go to full cut and I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
Right at the end, I disengage the parametric mid, and then we turn the drive down and the volume up. That is a flipping brilliant toolbox.
Incredible. There's very few places you're not going to be able to sit in a mix with that thing. You know what I mean? Because depending on what's going on density-wise with all the frequencies, it's like, okay, I need a slot there, or there's a bit much of that there. I can actually scoop that out. It's really cool.
It's got an absolute ton of headroom, so you can run it low gain as a boost if you want. And then, of course, all that shaping we did in the higher gain ranges, you could do in the lower gain ranges as well. So you've also got really effective, essentially a treble booster if you cut the bass frequencies.
Yeah.
Flipping killer, actually.
Amazing. Okay, last but certainly not least.
Yeah, we're going to get a quick listen to this because I have
gotta go
2.6 minutes.
Okay, great.
It will reappear if it feels like we've rolled over it a bit. Cornerstone, Emilio, our friends in Italy who make the Gladio Pre that everyone loves so much, have done
a vibe.
Nice.
It is groovy.
It's highly groovy.
Is
this? We don't need this.
You don't need that. So you've got the really cool thing about this. You've got two speeds that you can switch between.
Yeah.
And then you've got a mixer mode as well. So you can either go mix from full wet to full dry, or you can keep the dry in there and just mix the wet on top. And then you've got a couple of different ways that you can switch between the low speed and high speed. I'll do that stuff and you play.
I like that. I like that, Dan. Feels appropriate to play a Strat for this.
Indeed, indeed.
My first question is, does it have the double throb of the classic vibe sound?
Okay.
Can we get that? Some nice throb.
Yeah.
More. What's the mix mode do?
So you either go from fully dry to fully wet, or the dry stays there and you mix the wet on top of the dry.
Okay, which would be chorus and vibrato mode.
Exactly. So mixing between fully chorus or fully vibrato.
Cool. I think we need to hear that a bit more. Sorry to
Yeah,
rush
no, we'll
through it.
throw it. We'll get some fuzz on there and give that a go. I think it sounds lovely. I love the tone control on it. I love that the volume control actually has a bit of gain in there as well.
Yeah.
Because one thing with vibe pedals is because they can get so soupy and lush. I mean, they're a really lovely phaser, right? Four-stage phaser.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time when you step on them, they can sort of pull you back a little bit. And so having a little bit of gain there just to push that forward.
Do we
really
know where
cool.
the tone control sits? Sorry, just finally, let me hear that. Point of checking that is if you run your vibe after your fuzz, which some people do,
Yes.
which I do, and you're not hitting an overdrive pedal, what can happen is the oscillation of the phase can make some of the top end of that
Go very fizzy.
wave sound super fizzy and extremely unpleasant. So you can tame that back. That's a really nice
Really cool.
addition.
Really cool.
Okay.
There you go. Great. Thank you so much for watching. Again, massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merch. A massive thank you to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is
Anderson's Music of Guildford in Surrey, where you can buy some of this stuff.
and our mates in Australia,
Pedal Empire of Brisbane and Queensland.
which we might be seeing next Christmas.
We might be going to see it.
Also, a big thanks to anyone that's gone to our American friends that's gone to thatpedalshop.com.
Yeah, go to thatpedalshop.com. Buy
Get
stuff.
stuff.
If
Very
you're in
good.
the US or Canada.
Yes. Also, massive thanks to our patrons on Patreon.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. And a final shout out for thatpedalshowstore.com. That's the primary way we fund this show. Please buy stuff.
Indeed. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Monday for VCQ.
We will. I think we do need a little chestnut at the end. What do they call it? An Easter egg, Dan?
An Easter egg?
I think
Okay.
we need to turn all the pedals on and you need to play.
Wow.